G'day everyone, it's been a long time since the last video. I've been incredibly busy with uni, but that's all finished. I passed the year, so I'm through to the next year. And to celebrate, I stupidly signed up to a 3-hour ACC Bathurst Enduro. And it's all teams of 2. The community that I'm a part of, we entered in 4 teams. Unfortunately, we had technical issues with one team, so only 3 teams were able to start. This was a super enjoyable race. I learned a lot throughout the course of the race, especially from my co-driver and listening to the chat of the other drivers. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'd happily do this again. But before we get started, if you haven't already and want to see more sim racing content, do the typical YouTube things. Hit that like button, subscribe, you know, all the good shit. And yeah, let's get stuck into quali. Alright, so jumping out to start quali. Gotta do an outlap. Get used to the car, make sure it's all set up. So here we had, it was a 15-minute quali session. And here we are, coming down the back of Conrad straight towards the chase. Wasn't too happy with a 208, but you know, it was getting the car all ready to go. The tires nice and warm, getting some warmth into the brakes. You can see they're cooling down a little bit, especially coming down the back of Conrad straight. So I believe this was the first of one of my better quali laps. I think this lap was actually my good quali. I had done a bit of practice in this with the Beamer, but Bathurst has been a track that has always been a little bit of a struggle for me. But what better than driving it for 3 hours? So the race, we had a maximum of an hour and a half stint each. That was 4 pit stops, but we didn't know that we had to driver swap during the pit stops. So by the time of the end of the pit stop, by the time we pitted for the first time, we figured out we had to do that. So it meant that I ended up having to do 3 stints, and Dunga doing 2, where we would have preferred for Dunga to do more, because he's the faster driver. So we're going around to McPhillamy Park. You can see him a second ahead. So it should be an okay quali. Coming down through Skyline at the S's, the Dipper. Down towards Forest's Elbow. Losing a little bit of time there, but that's okay. You know, as long as we're getting quicker. I mean, a 2-second time gain at this point is huge for me. But we figured if I did as soon as I'm starting the race, I'll do the quali, because that way I'm not, you know, up the grid to points where I can't hang, and that will, you know, just impact my race. So it was a bit of a, you know, a conscious effort. Part of our strategy. So across the line for a 205, one of my faster laps that I've ever done at this stage on Bathurst, and that was going to be our quali time. I had one more lap after that was quicker, but I fucked it up. So unfortunately, we qualified P10 out of 11. The 12 and 13 was the technical issues for our other team we tried entering. So unfortunately, that was it. But here we are, about to start my first ever proper race in ACC. As I said before, I've only ever done like online lobbies, but this is the first proper organized race of my sim racing career in ACC. So we did a full warm-up lap, and I don't quite nail the start.
Main window is opening. Green light. Give it all you
Okay,
can.
I lose the position.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
But it's alright, coming straight into Hill Corner. A couple of cars going wide. We don't die into T1, and by the looks of it, we've gained position. We're gonna gain another potentially down the mountain straight. You know, just keeping the car straight. My goal was basically just to keep the car on the track, do my laps, and then, as I said to begin with, our strategy was I just get us to an okay place, and then for Dunga for the last hour and a half to completely take over. But up to P8, so already gaining 2 positions. Not a bad start. You know, just trying to keep the car neat and tidy. That was my goal, was to just not bin the car. The gear I was using for this was my FT300 RS. As of time of recording this, I have just picked up a Moza R9 for the KS wheel and load cell pedals. It's a load cell on the brake, not the full triple load cell. So look forward to me making some videos with that for the first time. I'm just getting used to it and getting it all set up. But a nice and pretty tiny first lap. Getting 2 positions. Remember, this is an endurance, it's not a sprint. So as long as I'm still posting okay lap times, you know, and fighting for position, that's all we really want. Braking a little bit earlier. I eventually ended up adjusting my braking points later, especially after watching my co-driver, watching him drive, and kind of learning some things that I can try to apply to my laps. But this was such a valuable learning experience for me. Driving with a bunch of drivers I've never really driven before, apart from the 2 other Pub Cup teams, which, you know, I've driven with them plenty of times, but it's always interesting driving with a field of other drivers. But still, around Quarry Bend, a little slow, but still neat and tidy. My goal for the first few laps was just keep the car out of the wall, you know? Keep the car out of the wall, slowly climb through the ranks, climb through the fields. But we're up to P7. It's a fellow Pub Cup team member just ahead of us. But we will go racing with them. It wasn't like, you know, we're all from the same community, let's not race against each other. It was, let's race. But still neat and tidy. And it completes the second lap. So we finished the second lap. Bear in mind, I had 4 hours of footage to cut through, so, you know, I'm not going to be showing full laps all the time. Trying to cut out some of the highlights, and especially later on where the stints are just, you know, driving to survive. We look for a little move on the car ahead, you know, just having a little bit of a glance, saying that we're here. But unfortunately, that gives them a much better exit through here than me. But you need so much confidence to be able to just drive the car quickly through here, you know, the limits of the car. I don't know what I did with that gear change there. But as you'll see throughout this endurance, my confidence in driving this track and car gets a lot better. my second stint, I did unfortunately lose a little bit of my rhythm, and it's so, like, especially in a situation like this, it's so hard to get back into that rhythm. But by the time of my third stint, I did get back into it, and the confidence was there. So someone else's pit, so that puts us all the way up in P5. Some teams were getting their pits done early, considering we had to make 4 of them. So perhaps getting one of the quicker drivers out. So I'm starting the gap ahead is starting to increase as I'm having to defend against the Lambo behind. I was kind of caught in a situation where I could be pushing to catch the car ahead, but then I know one mistake and I would essentially lose 2 positions, the overtake from P4 and P6 behind us. So I just drove to the best I could, defended a little bit, knowing that, a lot of these drivers around me are quicker. I would let them go if I have to. Driving straight down the middle here, not really giving, if they got a run, not really giving them anywhere to go. But they just unfortunately get their braking point wrong and dive straight into us, hitting the rear quarter panel. Thankfully, no damage to the car, and then they just moved across to block us over here. In fact, this isn't even P5, that is a lapped car. Sorry, P6. It is a blue flag car trying to get their position back. And it was a bit unfortunate. Yes, I was braking a lot earlier than I should, but, that's down to my skill level. But unfortunately, they just got that wrong. And crashed into me. So now I'm chasing them. I've lost sight of P4. Not because of that accident, but it certainly didn't help. And now I'm sandwiched between 2 cars again, so the car ahead has the blue flag. And because I didn't change the data to see, because it's an overall, I can't see who the car is, where the car is positioned behind me. But I'm just not letting them find any bit of a gap. But Forest Elbow is such a difficult corner to get right, but it's one of those corners that, when you get it right, especially the whole mountain section actually, it's one of those corners that when you get it right, it's very, very satisfying. But also very easy to lose time in. I'm just going to let them go here.
Clear on the left.
We drop down to P6, but that's alright, they are a faster driver than me. We had a good little battle. But, it's the way it is sometimes, especially in an endurance. We've still got over 2.5 hours left in this race. Giving a position away to a faster driver isn't the end of the world. We come down the back of Mountain Straight towards Quarry Bend. Just sticking with the car ahead, showing that I can belong with these drivers, as long as I don't make a mistake. Neat and tidy through the cutting, but I do make a mistake there, clipping the wall. The car getting out of shape a little bit. I get in my head that I need to try and make up that time instead of just relaxing, and like that always loses you time. Instead of being able to just reset and go, alright, I made that tiny mistake, and making a mistake there, it's not resetting my mindset, and it's gonna lose my chase for that position.
Yeah, I'll be about 32 seconds.
Alright, we're gonna stop next lap, I think.
Cool. So with you, we're pitting here.
Box at the end of this lap.
You can hear some of the TeamSpeak chatter. I don't know what happened with this clip here. I have all the audio separated out.
I'm waiting.
But unfortunately, for some reason, all of this audio just merged into one channel.
Yeah, we have to change because it just changed our balance.
So you can see here, this is where we're figuring.
You have to do multiple driver swaps.
Finding out that we're going to do multiple driver
out.
swaps to make our pit session mandatory.
It's all
pit
finished.
stop, 2, 1, and here's the start of Dunga's stint.
Alright, man. So we're coming
So
in this
we
lap.
bring the car in P6. We exit in
The
P7.
leader's in.
And now, yeah, it was a good 50-minute stint. Oh, just shy of 50 minutes. And now I can relax and learn. So Dunga is a much faster driver than me. Doing 204s while I'm doing 206s. Here he is chasing P6. This is a good little battle between them. See, this was the whole part of our strategy, was the fact that, you know, I get the car in an okay spot, bring it home, and then, you know, give Dunga all the work to do. Good little battle, keeping nice and close, although stepping out of shape a little bit. But even here, you can see, you know, the lots more experience in driving. You know, heavy fuel tank here and still doing 205s. Meanwhile, at this point, I was doing high 206s. I made sure to keep this battle in here. This battle went on for a few laps. I did have to cut it down for time, though. Looks down the inside. Around the outside, sorry. Has to go down the inside and unfortunately just breaks himself. Clips the wall just a little bit. Gives that position back, but that's not the end of this battle. So about plenty more. I mean, there's still 2 hours left in the race as well. Neat and tidy through Skyline. Sorry, not Skyline. Griffins and Reeds. Now through Skyline and the S's. I'm still learning the track names. You can see that one mistake's cost him, you know, over a minute and a half. It's doing an endurance, you know, you really learn the fine lines of, yeah, you could be a 10th down on your lap, but it's those 10ths that are constantly, you know, eating away at potential positions. And because of me, that's all on Dunga's first stint to undo some of my damage. I know I'm kind of selling myself short here. I didn't do too bad. I was pretty happy with my stint, to be honest. No major crashes, didn't wreck the car. When it came in for pits, you know, there was no repairs to do. And the battle continues. The car head makes a mistake and basically just hands us that position. Past the first hour mark. I mean, this race finished at it was close to 1:30 in the morning for me. So I knew I was in for a long race. We did about an hour of hour and a half of warm-up before this. Free practice was about an hour as well. And quali was 15 minutes. So it was a long day of driving. Right, jumping ahead. Dunga's in for another battle here. I am trying to be quiet a little bit, just allowing you guys to enjoy the racing now. Tidy. Very tidy. Coming down a Forest's elbow. The car ahead makes a mistake. And are we going to get the move done? Doesn't look as though they're going to defend it, they're just going to let us have this. And up into P4. Very, very well done. Now we'll complete lap 30. So now we're having the driver swap on lap 45. Not much happened since then. We came in on P4. And now it's my turn for my second stint. And this is, it was during this stint that we decided we were going to try to do a splash and dash. And then hit Dunga in later. But at the last minute we decided just to do the driver swap. You know, just to do the driver swap. And it did sell us a little bit short with fuel. But that's coming up. So we've got an hour 20 left in the race. You can see the car ahead, unfortunately, spinning out on our outlap, but that's fine. You know, it means we're not fighting. So this is the end of my outlap. I got to one of my fastest laps here of the race. Not obviously on the outlap, but made a little bit of a mistake on the exit of Murray's corner. Hell corner is nice and tidy. Gives us a good exit for Mountain Straight. The car behind. So I'm not too worried about the car behind because I know that they're a lap or two down. It's no big deal. And here's the end of that lap. A little bit down on time. And now that the tires are warm, the brakes are getting there. You can see the back brakes are still a little bit cold. But now's the time for me to really just open up and try get the gap down to P4. So we're up in P5 now. No overtakes, just cars boxing. So this is one of my better laps. And losing the car a little bit there. I was normally driving on TC6. But because I knew I needed to push a little bit, I felt comfortable on TC5. in his car, ABS 2. Is he losing it a little bit there? The brakes are cold now. But I hold on to it through the S's down to the dipper. Still looking for a good lap time. Neat and tidy. You know, there's always room for improvement, and it's what a lot of these videos are for me. Is, you know, hey, it's entertaining. You know, the racing is always good, but a lot of it is, as I'm watching back on this and editing and that kind of thing, learning how I can be a better driver, where I can improve, and where I can improve. I don't write scripts for these things, as you can probably tell. I have a couple of things I want to talk about in my head as I'm editing it, but now I'm kind of just rambling a little bit. Another tidy lap. See, I'm starting to get quicker. This is where I was getting into the rhythm of it. Up into P4. Is the car ahead of us pit. But our game plan here was still, I just go out, get the car around. Like, I know I'm not the slowest on the track, which is one of my big fears coming into this. You know, all I had to do was just go out and drive. If I can get places good, you know, and just try not to lose places I don't have to lose by, you know, making silly mistakes. So getting quicker, starting to get into the 205s. So that last one was a 205.3. Our team's best lap was a 204.8. So, you know, I'm starting to get there with pace. My last lap just then, a 205.9. And that is going to be the end of the stint. So this is where we were going to splash and dash. And this is where we're going to splash and dash. You can see me adding the fuel. Well, about to add the fuel. Making sure the tires are good. And we're just talking here about whether we should splash and dash, but it says that our pit is invalid, so it means we would have to do another pit later. So you can see this is the last minute where we decided, fuck it, let's do the driver swap. I get the pit stop wrong, I start at the wrong marker, and then our race falls apart a little bit even more. So not only are we now short fuel for a longer stint for Dunga, but the car does not want to start. You can see Dunga's able to change gears. The ignition was on, but it just would not tick over. And we lost so much valuable time. And not only with that time loss, Dunga has to fuel save. He's got to save a lot of fuel. But we managed to come back out of the pits in P6. This is one of the laps I did want to highlight. Just showing just how quick my co-driver is, even with lifting and coasting and fuel saving. So we've still got 47 minutes, one more pit to make. But a lot of the teams still have one more pit to make. Some are done. The back markers are done with their pits. You can see, even lifting and coasting, a 205 flat was the last lap. And he's half a second up on the last lap. And a prediction in the high 203s, or mid 203s. It's probably going to be around a 204. Just look at this marvelous work. Keeping the car so neat and tidy. But also still gaining speed. Yeah, of course there's, you know, the less fuel in the car. But this was just an absolute masterclass in damage mitigation for the lack of fuel while still being quick. Braking just after the 100 and across the line for a 204.2. So quick, so rapid. But that was basically what that stint was just lots of lifting and coasting. So now he's giving the car back to me for the last 18 minutes. If Dunga ends up watching this video, it was an absolute pleasure to be your teammate for this race. I learned a lot, and the two stints you did were absolute masterclasses. They were brilliant. So it's going to be the end of his race, and I get the last 17-ish minutes. The field around us is quite split. All I need to do is keep the car out of the wall. And not basically do 3-minute laps, and we'll come home P5. So it's an absolute stellar effort to this point. You know, over 2.5 hours of racing. We started P10 all the way up to P5. You know, we were fighting with P4 for a little bit. We were even in P4 thanks to cars boxing. You know, 1 or 2 accidents. Especially that one accident early on from the Lambo hitting the back of my car. But as you can see here, the brake markers have gone. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of a sour note to the end of the race. Unfortunately, someone had decided that they are gonna just drive through all of the brake markers and clear them all out. Like you can see, they're all gone here. You can see them getting a warning for that. And at this point, with 14 minutes left, a couple of laps into my stint, my co-driver was telling me to, you know, just be careful. And I lost the car a little bit. And I still to this day don't know if it was me being a little bit overzealous. You know, I didn't need a push, I just needed to drive. But whether it was me being overzealous, the cold tires, the pressure, I'm still not 100% sure what really went on there. But it wasn't the end of the world. And as you can see here now, our field is now a field of 10. After 2 hours and 50 minutes, why would you throw away your race like that? And just be salty and just ruin the last 15 minutes? Like, I don't get it. It was an absolute waste of time, and it was the sour note to the end of otherwise an impeccable race. And here will be my last overtake.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
That car, they were just having a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, they seemed to not be able to keep it off the wall. But also, I think it was their ping. Seeing their ping bar now, and it's absolute red. And here we are. I'm going to be quiet for the last lap and just let you guys enjoy the last lap.
Gaining on the driver ahead, sector 3. guys finished the race?
Through the chase for the last time down to Murray's corner, and that is it. That's P5. An incredible drive.
Right, main race. Good job.
I'm really happy. I feel like that was a really good effort, especially for my co-driver. They did a lot of the heavy lifting, and as you can see here, the 3 beamers at the top were all our team, so we had a P3, 4, and 5 finish. It was a really, really good end to the night. We're all very stoked with our respective finishing positions. But that will be it. I hope you guys enjoyed my first ever ACC race, especially a 3-hour enduro. I want to do more. In fact, I have signed up for a season in ACC as well. I'll try to get some more content out soon, especially with my new Moza wheelbase and wheel and pedals. But that will be us. Hope you all have a good holiday, Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys with some more content soon.